was born while I still had Noah, and I was working from home. I hadn't actually launched my business yet, but I was freelancing, and so technically I was running a business. And I started writing it when Ethan was really little, and it took 4 years to get to the point where it's actually a book. And so that is, that's longer than an elephant's pregnancy. But it was something that I did around kids and around running a business, around moving interstate. And so there were lots of things that happened in the middle of all of that, including me having a head injury, which I actually write about in the book. And the reason I wrote about that is because I wanted to say that running a business isn't always wonderful. There are parts of it that are really difficult, and I wanted it to be a real example of what actually happens. And so I wanted it to be the good and I wanted it to be the fun, but I also wanted to have the ugly bits in there as well, because it isn't always plain sailing, and I didn't see the point in pretending that it wasn't. And so so with that in mind, that was the view that I took when I was turned down by 2 publishers. I believed in my book, but obviously they didn't. They said they weren't quite sure where it was going to fit. Was it a parenting book? Was it a business book? We don't really know. And so I said, no, I already have an audience for this. I already know there's people who want this. There's people who have pre-bought it before it's even been published. So obviously there's a market for this. And so I decided to crowdfund. And as Polly mentioned, it was a few different things that I looked at. I decided to go with Pozible, which is an Australian crowdfunding platform, and they specialise in creative projects. And so I started all gung-ho, and I set up a 60-day program, and I said I want to raise $7,500 because I know that I need this much for editing, and I know that I need this much for the design, and I need so much for the cover, and I need so much to actually print it so that I could have a physical book. And so I added it all up, and it came to $7,500, and I thought, yep, that's fine, I'll be able to raise that in 60 days. And so I was very lucky that I had a very strong social network, because most of the people who contributed, and some of you are here today, most of the people who contributed to the campaign were from my online social network, and I hadn't met some of those people, and so I was asking people who had never met me but who knew me online to actually commit money to help me to help me publish my book. And at that time, the book was a manuscript, it wasn't a physical book, and so it was a bit airy-fairy, but they trusted me and they went with it. And the campaign went right to the last minute, and it fell short by $320. And out of $7,500, that I felt like I'd worked so hard asking people, thanking people, doing all of this over 60 days, and there was a huge amount invested in it. And I was thinking about how disappointed I was that it hadn't happened. Meanwhile, Pozible, who the crowdfunding platform, they were thinking that they were disappointed as well, because they were watching all the activity and they were really excited by it. And they told me, and they said, we've got to run this again. We've got to make it happen. Everybody loves this. And I said, oh, I don't know, like, we've already committed all of this. And they said, no, we'll tweak it a little bit, we'll give you a few tips, and we'll make it happen again. And so within 24 hours it was up and running again. This time it was only for 2 weeks. We ran it for a shorter time frame, a smaller amount, because with Pozible, if you don't make the funding amount that you're looking for, the total, you don't get anything. But if you do make the amount, you still get whatever is over and above that. So they said, that's fine, you can still get to the same amount that you need if you want to. And so that's what happened. Over 2 weeks, most of the people who had contributed the first time did again. In fact, quite a lot of people did more, because they wanted to make sure that it really did happen this time. And it did happen in 10 days actually. And so that is testament to the value of community and the value of networks and people supporting, getting behind a project. And so then it was up to me to actually turn all of these words that were on my computer into something. And so I set about then being a self-publisher. So I did my research with all the publishers to help me find the book. I I found somebody who could do the cover for me, do all the internal designs, and this is the finished product. And so after 4 years of work, this is what's actually happened, and I'm really proud of this, and I'm really proud that I've been able to interview these incredible women who've taken me into their business stories, and the inspiration for my book are right here next to me, and my support is all around me, so thank you very much.